Hey everyone, Bob Vortex here. Today, I want to talk about something that's been happening with the channel recently. And that's the fact that subscriber growth has basically come to a halt. For a while, the channel was growing pretty consistently. Most of the content I've made has been centered around Vortex, Vortex News, Vortex Updates, Vortex Development, and pretty much anything happening around the platform. That's what built this channel. But there's a problem with relying almost entirely on one relatively small community. Eventually, you start running out of people to reach. And I think that's what's happening now. The Vortex community is still growing, but it's obviously nowhere near the size of some of the other communities on YouTube. That means there's only so many people who are actively looking for Vortex content. And once you've reached a large portion of that audience, growth naturally starts slowing down. This is especially noticeable when you compare my channel to creators like TheBlockman. TheBlockman was already making content before Vortex. So even after Vortex became a major part of their content, they still had an existing audience. They had people subscribing for reasons that weren't necessarily connected to Vortex. I didn't have that. I essentially built this entire channel around Vortex from the beginning. So when Vortex content slows down, my channel slows down with it. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm actually really proud of how this channel grew. I didn't need to have a massive audience from another community before starting Vortex content. I built the audience around the Vortex community itself, and that's something I want to continue doing. But I also don't want the channel to become completely dependent on how many people are interested in Vortex at any given moment, because if I want this channel to keep growing, I'm eventually going to have to reach people outside of that audience. That doesn't mean I'm abandoning Vortex. Far from it. Vortex is still going to be a major part of this channel. I'll still be covering updates, development, news, and whatever else happens with the platform. But I also want to start experimenting with other types of content, because ideally, I don't want someone to subscribe to this channel simply because they play Vortex. I want people to subscribe because they actually enjoy watching my content. And that's probably the biggest change I need to make going forward. So, if you've noticed that the subscriber count hasn't been moving as quickly recently, that's basically why. I've built this channel around a community that is still relatively small. And unlike creators who already had audiences before Vortex, I don't have another major audience to fall back on, but I'm not giving up. If anything, I think this is just the next stage of the channel. Vortex got this channel started. Now I want to see how far I can take it. If you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. I'm Bob Vortex. Bob Vortex, out.